JW GROM, Poland. JW GROM or Military Unit GROM, named in honor of the silent unseen of the Home Army, is one of Poland's premier special missions units. GROM operators gained the nickname of the surgeons, due to their extensive medical training and knowledge and their surgical ability to coordinate and execute special operations. GROM was originally modeled on NATO's Tier 1 special operations units such as the U.S. Army's Delta Force, the U.S. Navy's SEAL Team 6, DevGru, and the British Army's SAS. GROM, which stands for Grupa Reagowania Operacyjno-Manewrowego, or in English, Group for Operational Maneuvering Response, which also means Thunder, is one of the 5 Special Operation Forces units of the Polish Armed Forces. The unit was officially activated on July 13, 1990. It is deployed in a variety of special operations and unconventional warfare roles, including anti-terrorist operations and projection of force behind enemy lines. The unit was named after the Silent Unseen, Poland's elite World War II Special Operations Unit. In the 1970s and 1980s, there were several formations of Special Forces units within Poland, but these were either trained in purely military tasks such as sabotage, disruption of communications and such, or in purely counter-terrorist roles. After the Polish embassy in Bern was taken over by a group of 4 Polish emigrants calling themselves Polish Revolutionary Home Army in 1982, General Edwin Roslybierski proposed that a clandestine military unit be established to counter the threat from terrorism and other unconventional threats. This proposal, however, was initially rejected by the People's Army of Poland. In 1989, many Jews were allowed to emigrate from the Soviet Union to Israel. Poland was one of the handful of countries that provided aid in the form of organization for the operation, later dubbed Operation Bridge. After 2 Polish diplomats were shot in Beirut, Lieutenant Colonel Sławomir Pietlicki was sent to Lebanon to secure the transfer of civilians and the Polish diplomatic outposts. Upon his return to Poland, he presented his plan for the creation of a special military unit to the Ministry of Interior, a force that would be trained in special operations to be deployed in the defense of Polish citizens in situations similar to the one in Lebanon. Pietlicki's ideas were well received, and on June 13, 1990, GROM was formally established as JW2305. Sławomir Pietlicki was chosen as the first commander of the newly formed unit. As a Polish intelligence officer from Służba Bezpieczeństwa specializing in sabotage and subversion, he seemed perfectly suited to oversee the unit's initial formation. He gathered around himself a group of like-minded and professional soldiers, functionaries, and set about choosing soldiers that would be fit for special operations. Due to the high risks involved in special service, it was decided that all men should be from professional service. The first batch of recruits all came from a variety of already existing special units within the Polish Armed Forces. The training of GROM soldiers includes a variety of disciplines. All of them undergo the same specialized training in anti-terrorism and special operations, as well as frogmen, sniping, and parachuting. In four-man teams, each soldier must be prepared to assume the respective responsibilities of his colleagues, should it become necessary. JW GROM receives basic special operations training from the Swedish Navy's Special Command for Tactical Operations based in Karlskrona, Sweden's primary naval base. Approximately 75% of GROM personnel are trained as medics or paramedics. In addition, each group is supported by several professional physicians. GROM soldiers are trained in capture or kill methods. During the 2003 invasion of Iraq, GROM formed the part of the core of the Naval Special Operations Task Group, along with U.S. Navy SEALs, British Royal Marines and attached U.S. PSYOPs and Civil Affairs teams. On March 20, 2003, U.S. Marines from 1st FASD Company and GROM operators assaulted the Ka'at oil terminals, whilst U.S. Marines from 1st FASD Company and U.S. Navy SEALs from SEAL Team 8 and 10 seized the Mobat oil terminal. Both terminals were seized with no casualties, and explosives which were found on the terminals were made safe by GROM and SEAL operators. A mixed team of 35 GROM operators and 20 U.S. Navy SEALs from SEAL Team 5 seized the Mukatayin hydroelectric dam, 57 miles northeast of Baghdad. Iraqi troops guarding the dam surrendered without a fight. There were no casualties to the team, with the exception of one GROM soldier, who broke an ankle during the insertion from a U.S. Air Force MH-53J Pavlo helicopter. SEAL and GROM units continued to cooperate throughout the rest of the invasion phase, with raids and anti-sniper missions in Baghdad. Following the invasion, GROM operators formed the core of Task Unit Thunder, as an element of Combined Joint Special Operations Task Force Arabian Peninsula, providing a Tier 1 counterterrorism unit for the task force. Along with Task Unit Raider, consisting of DED 1 operators, both units became the task force's primary direct action assets, operating in conjunction on multiple occasions. After earlier successful tours of Iraq operating alongside U.S. Navy SEALs under direct U.S. command, in 2007, GROM and JW Commando SO were deployed to Kandahar. They weren't restricted by any national caveats. The only restriction placed on them was regarding cross-border operations into Pakistan. Along with direct action successes, they were considered very effective in training and mentoring Afghan National Police units.